know what they're risking. But let's just say that you are like, I can risk 10% of my account. It's not a big deal. Look at what happens after 13 different trials. Let's just assume that you had a losing streak of 13 losses. And absolutely, guys, you can lose 13 times or more in a row. So imagine you have, a 13 streak loss and you were trading 2% of your account. If you see, like at the end of 13 losses, you still have 78% of your account. That means you can go on and live again and trade again. But after 13 losses at 10% risk, do you see you only have 28% of your account left? Now, that's just not using good judgment. The very first rule of trading, guys, is to protect our money. The second rule is to make our money. The third rule is to go back to rule number 1, which is protect the money. And then you just keep doing those in sync. We want to protect what we got first before we gain anything more. Something else to keep in mind when you are trying to have good risk management is the type of trader you are or the type of trade you're going to be taking. A lot of people like to come to the market and scalp, which means they're only in the market for a few minutes. And whenever you do that, you're only going to need like a 1 to 10 pip stop. Okay. An intraday trader, they usually trade many times throughout the day for a few hours. They don't hold it overnight. And you're going to require a 10 to 40 pip stop. A day trader, they like to hold trades for maybe several days. They can hold them overnight. You're going to need a much wider stop. So between 20 and 80 pips. A swing trader is going to require, several days to weeks at a time, and they will hold it over the weekend. They're going to need a much wider stop because the market moves all over the place and you got to give it room to do its thing. Then you've got position traders. They like to hold it for months at a time. You're going to need a huge amount of stop loss. There have been people that were upset because with the swing trades, they're like, well, this thing requires 150 stops. Absolutely it does. Why? Because you're holding it for weeks at a time. You got to give it room to breathe, guys. Take a moment to pause your computer and go to my FX book, click on that link or type that link into your URL. Position size calculator, you would go to Google and you could type in position size, and one is the one that one. All right. Here is your best friend. You know what? They actually have an app for this. I use this for pretty much every single trade that I get into. And after a while, you'll start to see similarities and you'll start to kind of remember what your lot size should be, because you might have seen a scenario before. However, again, for just starting off and, even experience, use this for every trade to make sure you're protecting your account. So you have, let's say, you remember, we're using 3%. 3% is what we're riding with, but do know that your trade can go anywhere from 1 to 3%. So it can be 1.5, 1.2, 2%, 3%, anything after 3%. And now you're kind of getting into risky territory. All right. First rule, guys, remember our first rule is to protect our money. The second rule is to make our money. And then the third rule is to protect our money. Okay. So that's our rules. All right. So here you go. 3%. Well, excuse me, where it says account size, you want to type in whatever it is that you plan to deposit. So I'm going to just say $1,000. I deposit $1,000. My risk is 3%, and then you want to determine your stop loss based off of the number of pips that you're okay with risking, or whatever you calculated, because eventually you're going to start calculating how much of a pip stop you're going to need. So maybe this particular trade needs 37 pips. You can figure that out just by, when you start drawing up your own charts, you'll start to figure that out. Sometimes they'll tell you, okay, this is going to require 35 pips that you're risking. But if you are doing it yourself, maybe it might be like, okay, 37 pips is what you need. All right. So I'm doing that wrong. Sorry, guys. 3% here. This is where you do it. 37 pips is what I'm willing to risk. And now I can see, all right, if this trade goes bad, I will lose $30. Okay, I can sleep good still. And this is what I will put in my calculator. Not my calculator. This is what I will put in my phone or on my computer where it says lot size, the volume, that little decimal thing. This is what I will put. I can either just do one big fat trade of a 0.08, lot size. I can open up one position at 0.08, or I can split it up into multiple